Hey guys, this is Mitch with the Department of Bad Ideas, and I'm here to talk to you about my first impressions on the Gatecrash event. Also, I cannot seem to talk today. So this event is it's a week-long event. We're about halfway through it right now, and the goal is to shut down these portals to the void that the Grenier have been making. They're aiming to destroy the Archwing technology, which I always thought it was Archwing. Archwing is now the official pronunciation of the device. I frankly don't care, but this is a pretty interesting event. It's slightly grindier than the more recent ones, but in my opinion, it's by no means an actual grindy event, because there's actually a really nice reward for continuing to do these missions. And that is, in each of these missions, you have your main objective, which is to sabotage the portal, take out the bosses at the end of that are in the zone that's inside of the portal, and get back. But you also have the side objective of there are 3 Grenier caches on every map that you run. And these caches have some really awesome rewards. Like, you can get anything from a pack of rare fusion cores to getting a stack of 50 OXIIIIUUUUM, which is huge. You can get formal blueprints are in there, resources, money caches, argon, a lot of really fun stuff. And I'm kind of hoping, if this is going to be the new sabotage game type for the Void, I'm really hoping that we'll be getting those as a part of the mission as well. Because this might be something from a while ago, but I'm going to bring it up. There was previously, probably about 6 months back, there was a big thing, a lot of people were making a big deal of rushers versus players that would sit and explore the maps. And I still think it's a relevant thing, is there are a lot of people that just go and rush the maps. I usually try to stick with the group, and if they want to explore, I'll explore. If they want to speedrun, I'll speedrun. I'll do whatever the group is looking for. But, this actually gives you a reason to explore, because they only spawn these Grenier caches inside of the loot rooms. And some of these loot rooms are really obscure, and some of them not so obscure. Like this one right here is kind of out in the open. And some of them are in some pretty crazy jump coursey kind of areas, and it's really cool if you can get a whole group to actually go out and try to get all 3 of them, and, you know, have to work hard as a team to get to the cache. And usually they pay off. So it's definitely worth getting them. But as far as the actual main objective goes, it's pretty fun. It's kind of your standard, it's a 2-point mobile defense mission, basically. But it's cool because all of the enemies come out from one single point. They all come out in a big swarm out of the portal at the end, which we'll be getting to in a moment here in the video. And I just kind of found it interesting. Granted, you can lock it down with, like, Tempest Barrage or Tentacle Swarm, stuff like that from Hydra. Can actually lock that down pretty big time. I'm sure, like, Hollow Ground could probably break it as well. There's plenty of abilities to break it. But it's still really cool that they come out from one fixed location and they all just come out with numbers instead of coming in all directions. But once you do that, there's a pair of bosses inside of the map. In this case, I'm doing Earth, which is the earliest one. So there's a pair of bosses in there. I'll talk about them when we get to them. But overall, I like the feel of this. I've got a couple little things that bug me about it. I mean, that one single point of attack, which we're at it now, so I guess I'll talk about it. It's both cool and kind of at the same time. Now, if the Infested were attacking from one side and the Grenier were attacking from the other, that would have been beautiful. I love that. But, I mean, there's still time for them to do this. So, when we get this in the Void, we very well might have the Orokin, or not the Orokin, but the Corrupted could be attacking from one entrance, the back door there, and the Grenier or the Corpus attacking from the gate here. That would work, it would fit the lore, and I think it'd be pretty cool. It could lead to some pretty crazy 3-way battles. So what else here? What haven't I talked about? I'll get to the bosses when I get there. Oh yeah, the rewards for this. I do very much like the rewards that they're giving out for this event, and as well as for the caches. Caches, like I said before, definitely with the tier 4 keys that can drop from them, definitely a big motivation to go after them. Rewards themselves for the event, I do like them. It's it looks like they finally figured out how to do base damage mods with 120% slash damage mods. If they did that for each element, base damage type, I mean, that would be perfect. That seems like the right value where there's a reason to run that over an element. So it's about on par with having a 90% element in there. Now about these bosses, since I'm here already, these bosses were interesting. You can only damage them with their battery pack on their back. They go down a little too easily, in my opinion. I noticed that a lot of weapons I would bring in here. Granted, these are lower level, so, you know, level 13, I'm expecting to take them out 2 or 3 shots. But even when I'm running in here with something like the Bratton or the Tigress, okay, Tigress is a bad example, like the Sobek, that's what I use for a lot of this. It just feels like they died a little bit too easily. So I'm really not sure what to think of that. I mean, it very well could just be that my builds are a little too strong from what the usual levels are for this. I haven't done any of the endurance missions yet, which I will do later, and I'll probably have a video about that later, because the event, the more you run of this mission, the weaker your Warframe gets within the missions. So, for example, your power strength, power duration, power range all go down. Your health and shields get decreased. There's a cap for each tier of this, so Earth has a pretty low cap. As you can see, I have 109 shields, which is still a pretty decent amount. But once you get to Ceres, which is the final tile set for this, you're capping off at 15 keys worth. That's pretty notable. You'll definitely be feeling it. At that point, just about everybody's playing Rhino, Frost, or Valkyr just to take the hits and get through it. So, which I thought that was interesting. I know it adds a good challenge to it, but that's just kind of a modifier that just kind of irked me a little bit, but it's not by any means a deal breaker. I mean, we can still go back to Earth to get our loot, so not too big a deal in my opinion. I will mess around with endurance at some point though, just to give it a shot, figure out how it goes, maybe do some videos on it. Still fun stuff. But overall, I like this event. It's a good one. I'm not jumping for joy like the last one, the excavation one, which was amazing. But this is definitely a really cool event, and I'm actually using it to get my transporter pads done inside of the dojo, because I'm getting a lot of Oxium out of this. So it looks like I'm getting a little close to out of time here. Final thing to say here is if you want to get through this pretty quickly, get a Hydroid on your team. Really pays off. So this is Mitch with the Department of Bad Ideas, signing off.